Good morning. I'm Ashley, and welcome to the Conference for Families and Parents of Young Children. During today's session, you will hear from professionals and parents who are working together to provide Nebraska families with important early childhood information and access to quality services. You'll learn about the resources available to you as you raise your families, hear from parents on how to connect with your local communities, and act as leaders in creating a better early childhood system, and discover the range of developmental, mental health, and childcare assistance that you can access. And so I have all of my partners with me today. I'll start over here to my right.
I'm Todd Smickley. I'm a parent.
I'm Krista Meyer.
I'm Reagan Brown.
So welcome, everybody. We are so glad that you all are here today to just sit down and listen and learn and gain some knowledge from all of today's sessions. So why don't we just get the conversation started? Let's talk about the four, what do you call them?
Well, the conference is really focused on like four main points that the parent leaders here we've helped kind of come up with to develop. We've been collaborating with different places across the state of Nebraska to put this conference together. And we really hope that you are able to get a lot of information out of it. The four main points are collaborate, learn, lead, and support. Todd, what is your definition on collaborate?
And collaborate. Collaborate's one of the most important to me. There's a guiding quote that I think of in my life from Mother Teresa, and it says, "I can do things you cannot do. You can do things I cannot do, and together we can do great things." And it just makes me feel that the truth of that is we can't do things alone. We can't parent alone. It takes, you hear it takes a community, it takes a village. There's government agencies, teachers, schools, family, friends, faith communities, just all kinds of stuff, your neighbors, everybody that it takes to parent right and really do anything right, I think.
Physicians, specialists. I'm listening to your list,
yes.
And I'm just thinking of all the people that I collaborate with on a daily basis. And I also feel like when it comes to collaborating, everyone on this team that you're working with, they all serve the same purpose. You're all aiming to provide that child with the best quality of life. Ultimately,
Childcare workers.
yes, childcare, but it takes a huge group of people that you're collaborating with to help raise this child up.
For sure.
Okay, I'll give you my shares on collaboration. It just doesn't start at the birth of the child. I think the collaboration begins prior to that. I think it starts prenatally, and it's just really important that professionals embrace that need for collaboration. And when I say professionals, as they mentioned before, like your medical professionals that you interact with, your childcare providers, anybody who's providing any sort of assistance in educating your child or providing for their care or assisting you in understanding their developmental needs. And I think it's important also that parents are very much aware the value of their contributions to collaboration. I think it's the most important key to successful collaboration is parent involvement. And even if it's the first time that you've ever parented a child, or if you're pregnant and you're expecting a child, or if you've parented 10 children in your lifetime, every single parent's contributions to what happens in a human being's life prior to birth until they reach adulthood has value, true value, and is very essential in the collaboration aspect of all this.
Yeah, collaboration is really with anyone that's in your life, in your social circle, other parents, supports, just really anyone working toward that same goal of having happy, healthy children.
So we talk about learning.
Oh, learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning every day.
I know.
It is, I don't know about you guys, but this parenting life, I've been thrown so many curveballs. Like you think you know what to expect, but when it comes down to it, you really don't. And so it begins a whole new learning process, a whole new learning curve. I wish that I could have predicted some of the things that were going to happen, but you can't. I'm very grateful for the supports, which we'll talk about later, the
Mhm.
supports that I have in my life to help adapt to all those different changes, all those different curveballs that are thrown in our way.
Mhm.
We can never learn enough. There's
Mm.
always new information, new research. We can also learn from each other, which I've learned from my colleagues sitting here. And it's okay to take new information and do things differently. That doesn't mean you were doing it wrong before. It just means now you learned something new. And really learning leads to change. And I think change is a good thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, like everybody says, you can never be done learning, and people have made the mistakes before. That's the one thing that I've learned, and I've made some bad mistakes because I refused to reach outside of my circle and get education from others, and that was a valuable lesson for me. But it also created some hardships and some trauma within my family. And so one thing I've learned from that is you can really learn from the successes and the mistakes of other people, and that can help you in your future have more successes and less mistakes.
Mhm.
Support to me, like supporting others with what I've learned before, has been something that I've been able to give back, because it's just supported me so much in my life. Also, I wanted to make sure, don't be too proud to accept support from others, and because you need it, you just need it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Parenting is a hard job. It's so much better when we have the support of other people, other parents, and when we can support others too. And Todd said it earlier, but raising children really does take a village, and having those supports does make parenting a lot easier.
So you guys made me think of something as far as supports and learning. One thing that I would like to see come out of the results of this conference, and the collaboration, the learning, and the supports and the leads and all that organically occurs with all the parents, is that that a lot of our state and community agency services, all of those particular spaces that reach families, I hope that there is some creation, some innovation in how we support parents through learning. I think it's very important that the services that are available to parents, it's almost like it should be an unconditional aspect of services that these how would I say, these professional partners or these community partner agencies provide, is that there should always be learning opportunities for parents.
Mhm.
And through these learning opportunities, supports are come to fruition, and leadership opportunities. I think that's really important. Learning at all levels is very important. I'm trying to think about how to put that together.
Well, it's good, because that's one thing that I'm learning about joining, or I don't know, being a parent advisor or parent leader or whatever, is that putting those supports and those systems together, being, from our experiences and other parents' experiences, so that when the organizations are out there working, they're listening to the parents, the people on the ground, of what they need.
Mhm.
And that's so important, to get people what they need, not what we think they need, what they're telling us that we need. And that's part of what all this collaboration stuff is doing,
Mhm.
and learning and leading.
I love that they're reaching out to parents and families,
Mhm.
and it's making our voices heard.
Mhm.
And when it comes down to leadership, that's one thing that I feel is important. Agencies, they want to hear parents' experiences. They want to know what changes need to be made. They want to collaborate with us parents to help make different changes in the systems in parts where it is broken.
Mhm.
And so I'm kind of excited to see where a lot of this will lead. And I hope that once this conference is wrapped up, that people who are joining in and listening, that they want to put a foot forward to see what they can do to help make change, for problems that they're running into.
I think how you lead is really up to you, up to each individual. It can be on a smaller scale within your social circle. It can be broader within your community, or even on a much larger scale, like statewide or nationwide. Leading is using those tools and knowledge that you have to support others, make a difference, and make changes for the well-being of children. And I mean, that's something that we're doing here. That's why we have the parent advisory group, and why we get together, is we want to make those positive changes.
And for the parents out there who are inspired by this conference and have a desire to find spaces where they can lead, when you are in those opportunities, don't hold back. Like, don't hold back your input. Don't hold back your input because you might feel like, well, they might think what I have to share is not smart or not of value, because it is. And that's one thing about learning that I've learned in other spaces about learning with parents, is just like children, also with parents, we all learn in different ways. So when a program or a service solicits your input or solicits your time, be very transparent about what supports you best as a parent in learning. If it's not through written materials, say written materials aren't for me. If it's best through conversation, say I learn best through conversation. If you learn best through demonstration, let that service provider know that I learn best through demonstration. I need to see it done hands-on. I need to bring my child with me and sit down with whoever is doing this learning session and demonstrate it to me. Just speak out and be very transparent and be very open about what helps you learn best, because there's no, I don't know how to explain it. There's no not good way to learning. The best way to learning is what meets you where you're at. And how would anyone, can you even think of a better way to explain that? Like, because not everybody learns the same.
Yeah.
And it's very important that as parents, we speak up about that. And also when it comes to our children too, when you get into an early education program, if you know that that's not the learning style that's best for your child, or if you know your child's not where you're at, like your child's not where at 4 years of age is nowhere at learning how to spell their name just yet, that you know that what the best learning experience for them right now is just their social skills, how they interact with other children, how they interact with the world around them. Speak up to that provider and say, right now, this stuff, learning how to read sight words or learning how to spell their name, that's not what my child needs right now. This is what my child needs right now in this space. Like, speak up for your child, because you know your child best and you also know yourself best. So speak up for those things when you are in those opportunities to contribute.
Absolutely.
Well, should we go ahead and move on into the nitty-gritty?
Yeah.
Before we begin, we would like to cover a few housekeeping things. Each session, it will be presented in a video format, and it will be followed by a question and answer period. Throughout the session, if you do have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section. After the conference, if you do have any other questions or comments, please refer to our website.
You'll be asked to complete a short voluntary survey at the end of the conference. We'd appreciate your feedback, as it will help develop the resources and programs that you need.
If you are one of the first 500 registrants for the conference, you will receive a gift card in your email. Please keep an eye out for it in case it goes into your junk folder.
And we'll continue to provide important information to parents via text message. We have a text messaging system. And if you have not registered for that, you can do so at the link that's provided on the screen. And also we'll add it to the chat.
While the conference is only for today, the work we do will continue to help better the early childhood care system. We encourage you to subscribe to the Parent Quarterly newsletter to get involved with your community and the initiatives happening around the state.
Today's conference, the materials you received in the mail, and the services you'll hear about today would not be possible without the generous contributions of our partners. We'd like to take a moment to recognize them and to encourage you to explore the work that they're doing for families in Nebraska. The Nebraska Preschool Development Grant website includes information about their work and the ways in which we're trying to build a better system of early childhood services for all of our state's wonderful families. We hope you find information that is useful to your family and that you join us in building a better system. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope you enjoy the conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.